The Dallas Cowboys come to Lambeau Field on Sunday, led by former Packers coach Mike McCarthy. This team bears very little resemblance to the Packers teams he led. Can the Packers defense keep this game close enough for the Packers to have a chance to win? Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast. My name is Patrick Corrigan and I'm your host. You can find and follow me on Twitter at Packer Mentality. My podcasts are available on YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Please hit the subscribe button below if you are watching on YouTube. And thank you, I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. The Cowboys are coming off a bye week where they got healthy, and the Packers looked like a mash unit after their game against the Lions. For now, I'll tell you the guys that haven't practiced this week. As expected, Rashawn Gary was put on injured reserve. Guys that didn't practice so far this week, linebackers Chris Barnes and Devondre Campbell, wide receiver Romeo Doubs, and cornerback Eric Stokes. Highly unlikely that any of those guys play. Christian Watson, who was injured in the game on Sunday, is not listed on the injury report this week and is practicing. For the Cowboys, just two guys that haven't practiced, linebacker Anthony Barr and tight end Jake Ferguson. I will update the injury situation, among other things, on Saturday. Keep tuned. So the Packers offense, this is the key to this game, and whether they can keep this game close enough for the Packers offense to have a chance to win it. And if they're going to do that, they need to stop the Cowboys' running game. Cowboys have two good running backs, and they actually use them. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard been very strong this year, and the offense is a Mike McCarthy offense. He does love to move his quarterback around, roll him out, bootleg him out, and that's what he's doing with Dak Prescott. He's been used much more this season as a running weapon, basically because he's a year removed from his severe ankle injury. So feeling much more confident there. For the Packers defense, the key is going to be up front, the defensive line, Kenny Clark, Jerron Reed, Dean Lowry, Devontae Wyatt, TJ Slayton. They need to play their best game and do a much better job holding the line of scrimmage, getting penetration. Preston Smith and whoever's on the other side, whether that's Kingsley Enagbare or somebody else, they need to keep contained and hold the edge. They cannot let Dak Prescott get outside of them. They can't allow these jet sweeps to get past them. They're going to have to play their best game of the year. Probably going to be missing Devondre Campbell, as I mentioned, and Chris Barnes, so it's going to be Quay Walker and probably Isaiah McDuffie at linebacker. Those guys actually weren't too bad in the second half last week. They need to do another great job this week. The Cowboys' passing game was missing Dak Prescott for 5 games, so their passing numbers are skewed incorrectly in the wrong direction. This is a pretty good passing offense with Dak at quarterback. He's got some decent weapons on the outside. The Packers secondary is going to have to hold up. That means who's going to play in the slot with Eric Stokes out and Rasul Douglas being moved to the outside. Probably Keyshawn Nixon and hopefully Darnell Savage as well, which means if Darnell is playing in the slot, who's playing at safety next to Adrian Amos? Most likely Rudy Ford, but the Packers did pick up this week former first-round draft pick of the Raiders, Jonathan Abrams. Don't know how much he's going to be able to absorb and be able to get into the game this week, but going forward, I would expect them to try and get him in the game if they're going to move Darnell to slot corner. On the offensive side for the Packers, last week they faced one of the worst defenses and only scored 9 points. This week they're going to be playing one of the best defenses. This Cowboys defense ranks third in points allowed, third in passing yards per play, and they lead the league in sacks. But they are 28th in run defense. Packers offense going to need a mindset change, an attitude change. Uh, they need to make a choice on offense. Are they going to run LaFleur's offense the way it's supposed to be run, which means Aaron Rodgers needs to get with the program? Or is Matt LaFleur going to just let Aaron Rodgers cook and adjust it so the plays are run the way Aaron likes them run, which means a lot of shotgun, very little play action, and very little motion. Key to this game with the Packers, with the Cowboys pass rush is going to be the offensive line. Is everyone going to be healthy? Will Bakhtiari be healthy and play? Will Elton Jenkins be healthy and play? Keep you updated on that. Wide receivers, we are getting severely depleted for wide receivers. We'll probably have Al Lazard. He's still recovering from that shoulder injury, but he was able to play last week. I expect him to play this week. I expect Christian Watson to be starting with him, and probably Samari Torre also out there. So you'll have two rookies out there a lot of the time. I don't know if Sammy Watkins is healthy enough. What little I saw and heard from Packers practice this week didn't look like he was very healthy. So you'll get Amari Rodgers and maybe a guy or two called up from the practice squad. We'll see. Packers will need to chip block and do everything they can on Micah Parsons. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league. They're going to have to help these guys out with him. Now, this is going to be a tough assignment for this team to get a win. And it's going to take their best performance of the season to pull it off. Can they do it? Yes, they can. Will they? I have my doubts that it will happen unless a mindset and attitude change happens on offense. I'll be back on Saturday with an update on the injuries and anything else that comes up. Until then, have a great rest of your week. Be safe and go Pack Go.